90% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get punked, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia. AB skinheads with big giant swastikas. Pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in a Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters gon' move. Whatever clique you choose, you better stick.
Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down! Now, for those of y'all that's new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. During those times, I accumulated some good stories. I'm going to share one with y'all today. If you happen to like this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and most importantly, hit that notification bell. That way, anytime I drop a story, you will be notified ASAP, and you can hop on it whenever you're ready. Also, I rap. Yeah, that's me on the intro. If you want to check out more of my music, go to my YouTube playlist. Scroll down to gas stations, and you're going to find my music there. Do not get it twisted. The flow is nothing like Curtis Blow. I gas, and you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Now, let's hop into this story. Almost from the very beginning of the time I started doing my prison YouTube stories, people would leave questions in the comment section asking me about some of the more recognizable or celebrity type convicts that I've done time with. One of the more recognizable dudes is an individual who goes by the name of Big U. Big U is a former Rolling 60s Crip from Los Angeles. He's also the former and one-time manager of the rapper Nipsey Hussle. He currently has a company by the name of Development Options, where he helps to impact the gang violence among the youth in his community. I've also seen him do several toy drives around Christmas, helping the less fortunate in the Los Angeles area, providing them with toys for their kids. He currently has a show, I believe, by the name of Checking In. On that show, I've seen him interview celebrities like Quando Rondo, Snoop Dogg, Shaquille O'Neal. I've also seen him be interviewed by Mike Tyson on Mike Tyson's show. Now, like I said, I ended up meeting this dude around 1999, 2000 in a prison by the name of Ironwood. We was on B-Yard. He happened to be 2 or 3 cells down from me. And so me seeing him parole from prison and getting all these accomplishments and stuff, to me, honestly, it was inspirational. Even if I hadn't been doing YouTube, knowing that here's a dude who was, 2 or 3 cells down from me at the time I met him. Both of us had a lot of time to do, and for him to be able to get out and then place himself in a position not only to provide for himself, which is extremely hard, being a former convict with a prison record, but also provide for his family and make positive contributions to his community. To me, that's extremely commendable. Like I said, I met him around 1999, 2000, somewhere around there. At the time, I had never heard of Big U. You know, I stay maybe about an hour and a half away from where he grew up at, so he wasn't known to me, but his reputation at the time that I met him was definitely cemented out there on the streets and in prison. You know, many people had definitely heard of Big U. So just so happened, he happened to move into my building, like I said, and earlier, and become cellmates with a dude who I was cool with, and I believe that's how I became acquainted with him. You know, I would say after a period of time, we got to be pretty good friends. We would play basketball together every day. He loved to play Monopoly. We play Monopoly in the building and stuff. At one point, he put me on the phone with the rapper Corrupt, who was signed to Death Row, who used to come visit him. I talked to Corrupt a little bit. He also put me on the phone with Corrupt's brother. I believe his name was Roscoe, and we was rapping back and forth, trading a few lyrics and stuff like that, you know. So, I seen a lot of things, that to me was commendable also about Big U, man. One thing I noticed about him is that he was extremely loyal, and it didn't sometimes, when I say extremely loyal, sometimes I'm talking about, well, when I say extremely loyal, I'm talking about he was extremely loyal to his people, and sometimes your people in prison tends to vary depending on the situation. Of course, your people is always going to be the immediate car that you push with, but then sometimes your people also can be your particular race depending on the situation. Case in point, I remember one time we was leaving the basketball court after a basketball game. For whatever reason, an Asian had directed a few violent words toward a brother. Now, this dude who he was talking to wasn't one of Big U's homeboys, but he happened to be black. Now, so Big U turned around and said, "Hey, man, who you talking to? You ain't supposed to do nothing to nobody black, so get that out your mind right now." He started walking up on the dude. Some of the Asian dude's homeboys grabbed him and told him, "Hey, no, it's cool." And then the situation ended up dying down. But like I said, that was something that he definitely didn't have to become involved in, but like I said, depending on who he considered his people at the time, he extended his loyalty to. He also done something that I had never seen done and haven't seen done since he done it during my whole 24 years of being incarcerated. He put together on the yard what was called a men's day. And what that was is he got all the brothers from every from every building, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 building, to come outside and put a spread together. So he went to several people in each building, had them get at the people in their building to donate things like soups, beans, rice, summer sausage, fish, sodas from the store, what have you, and so everybody could come out and have a spread. Now, it didn't matter if you was, Crip, Blood, non-affiliated, whatever, and so what he done actually is he posted flyers in each building and he announced the meeting as a men's day, saying it was open to all men of all races and colors. Now, of course, he told me that he knew the whites and the Hispanics would not participate, but he had to do this in order to get it approved from the administration. So on the day of the meeting, they wouldn't come over there harassing us because it was going to be only blacks, which was pretty intelligent, And so, like I said, I seen a lot of good things done by him, man. We were several cells around. Now, of course, we in prison, so you still gonna have to be who you have to be, dictating the situation, or I should say, sometimes the situation will dictate what you have to do in prison. But like I said, man, he was a real cool dude. I'm gonna tell you guys of another situation actually where I stopped him from getting into a fight. So one day we was out there on the basketball court. We was playing basketball, just a regular game. Now, he got into it with another dude by the name of McDuff. Some of his homies used to call him Duffy or whatever. Now, Duffy or McDuff was also in our building, and Duff was a cool dude. Duff was a Blood. Now, I thought that Duff was from Pasadena, but somebody the other day told me that no, Duff was from Watts. But either or, they got into it over just a simple argument behind basketball. Nothing gang banging related, simply behind basketball. So Big U told the dude, "Okay, well, listen, man, when we go in, come to my cell, we gonna catch that fade." You know what I'm saying? So dude was like, "Okay, yeah, whatever." So we finished the game, and everybody walked off the court or whatever, and Ironwood's extremely hot too. So it gets up to sometimes 115, 120 degrees. So that particular game was over. We all left the court. Maybe about 45 minutes later, when they did the unlock, which is an hourly time for us to go in our building, Big U told the dude, "Yeah, come on, let's go get that out the way." So they walked into the building. Now, when they do the unlock, the guard will start at cell 1, and he'll walk around, and if you standing in front of your door, he'll tell you to open your door. You can tell the guard to open your door, and you can go in for about 5 minutes, do whatever you want to do, come out, stay in, or whatever. So him and Duff is waiting at the door. Now, like I said, due to the fact that they got into it behind something extremely small, I can't even remember what it was. It wasn't no gang banging stuff. I said, "Hey, man, listen, man, both y'all some good dudes, man. Y'all go ahead and let that go, man. That ain't nothing to be swabbing over, whatever." So they looked at each other. I said, "Yeah, man, y'all some good dudes, man. Leave that alone, man." They said, all right, man. They just walked away. Now, had either one of them told me, hey, man, shut up, Four Eyes, and mind your business or something like that, I would have minded my business because, like I said, I wasn't from Big U's particular neighborhood, nor I was a blood, but that was just somewhat how I was raised, man. I grew up in a small town, and sometimes when some of my older homies would see some of us younger dudes getting into it over something small, they would, ask us, man, let that stuff go. Now, had they been out there gang banging or dissing people's hoods, I would have stayed out of the way. I would have never said nothing, but that wasn't the case, Once again, my hat's off to him and the accomplishments that he's made since paroling from prison. Now, here's another dude, man, who I always get asked a lot about, man. People always ask me, did I ever do time with X-Rated? Now, for those of you guys familiar with X-Rated is a rapper from Sacramento. He was another dude who I hadn't heard of until I ran across him on the yard. We was in Salinas Valley. I would like to say it was probably about 1997. Now, once again, me and this dude was in the same building together. He was maybe about 5 or 6 cells down from me, but I just seen him on the yard. Me and him was never formally introduced. One thing that was extremely remarkable about him, I believe he put out a rap album in 1992, and not too soon after that, he was arrested for a murder. Now, once he came to prison, he continued to release albums, every few years, which was extremely remarkable back then. Keep in mind, this is way before, the cell phone days, or, there was a large influx of cell phones and stuff like that. So, while I never met him, I would see him rapping on the yard. He would be rapping with a dude by the name of, his name was Creep from Do-Rock. Creep was from Do-Rock. It was another dude he would be rapping with who was from Santa Ana Watergate by the name of Roscoe. It was another dude, I'm not quite sure if he would be over there rapping too, but his name was MC from Orange County. But I definitely know that he used to be out there rapping sometimes with Creep and Do-Rock. At the time that I was locked up with him, there was a radio station. We was in Salinas Valley. There was a radio station hosted by this dude by the name of Muhammad. And X-Rated would come out the cell and get on the phone with Muhammad, and Muhammad would play an instrumental, and X-Rated would be on there rapping. Also, man, I don't know what happened to Muhammad, but shout out to Muhammad, man. He was a cool dude. You could actually have your family call up there to the radio station and leave you a request or something like that, and he would play it on the radio. So I had heard several dudes have the girlfriends call up saying, hey, what's up, baby? I love you. I miss you. I'll see you tomorrow. And to hear something like that was extremely inspirational to people in prison, us dudes up there doing time, having life and stuff like that, man. So shout out to that dude. Shout out to Muhammad. Eventually, I believe X-Rated ended up serving about 26, 27 years. He was a lifer himself. And now he's paroled. He's out making music again, living his life. So, yeah, that's what's up. There's another dude that you guys may have heard of. His name is Curtis Carroll, also known as Wall Street. Now, I believe Wall Street, as we called him on the yard, is up out of the Oakland, San Francisco area somewhere. I'm not quite sure, but I believe he was arrested and sentenced to life around the age of 16, 17, somewhere around there. Now, what was so remarkable about him was when he was arrested, according to him, he couldn't read or write, but eventually in prison taught himself to read and write, then learned about the stock market and started trading stocks and became extremely wealthy in prison in the stock market. I ran across him in a prison called CMC East. I can't remember exactly what time of the years it was that I ran across him, but I would see him out there on the yard from time to time, giving classes, teaching other convicts who wanted to learn about the stock market. Also, we played a couple of games of basketball here and there from time to time. They also used to call him Curly Bo too. From time to time, he would come out on the yard, play a little basketball and stuff like that. Now, I spoke to him, we didn't get real tight, but we spoke here and there due to our basketball affiliation, playing a little basketball together or whatever. He was a real cool, laid back dude. Actually, one time, he came to me. He had one of his homies. It was one of his homies that ran with the Bay car, whatever. He was running around, I guess, on the yard, buying cigarettes and buying other items that he couldn't pay for. You know, I guess at one point in time he had a large sum of money, and eventually that large sum of money ran out. And so, of course, when you might be buying cigarettes or something from somebody, and then the dude who buying cigarettes from, you might spend $150 with him or something. Then of course he'll go tell somebody else, and he'll tell somebody else. So now everybody selling cigarettes thinks you got money, or got something for sale, period, thinks you got money, and now they're willing to give you money on credit because their greed is kicking in. And so, after this goes on for a period of time, your money's gonna run out. Now this dude, he was of Middle Eastern descent, Wall Street's homeboy. And so of course, people accumulated him with people connected him with, having money, his family having money, with some rumor that his family owned gas stations or whatever. So everybody wanted a piece of his money. So Wall Street had came to me and told me that, hey man, and I forget the dude's name, but he said, hey man, this dude is no longer good in terms of buying stuff. His money's no good, man. So don't sell this dude nothing on credit, and we're not gonna be covering his debts in the event he, get into some debts. And so he told me, let your homeboys know, right? And so, of course, I go get at my homeboys. Hey man, if the dude come to get something from you on credit, don't give it to him, homie. So later on that day or the next day, word gets back to that dude that I'm telling everybody he's no good or something like that right now. He already had came from B Yard, and people were saying he had told on somebody on B Yard. Now, whether that's true or not, I had no intention, but I had no idea about that. But I believe that due to whatever was being said, he was trying to save face or whatever. So he came and got at me like, hey, chill, man. I need to holler at you, man. I need to holler at you. You run around here telling people, I'm no good or whatever, some shit. I need to come to my cell. I need to holler at you. Yeah, don't even trip. I'll be down there, right? So y'all already know, man. I go strap up. I go get that thing. And I push right down to his cell like salt and pepper. Like, yeah, push it. I push up in there like, hey, what's up? Now he was in the cell with this dude by the name of Slim. I call him Mac Slim, good partner of mine, man. Shout out to Slim if you see this, man. So I'm like, yeah, what's up? What's up? He's like, oh man, I heard you run around here telling people I'm no good. I said, listen, homie, only thing I told my homies is what your homeboy told me. You got a problem, do what you gonna do. He said, oh man, well, yeah, you already know, man. If I find out you've been saying this, you know what it is. I said, yeah, I know what it is. What is it? What is it? You got a problem? I'm telling you what I told you. And so now we in Max Slim's cell. Max Slim had just got the brand new, I believe, flat screen TV at the time with the CD that slide in the back. He like, hey man, y'all come on, chill. Y'all kick back, man. Don't act the fool up in here. Turn nothing up in here and stuff like that, man. So yeah, we end up, I end up pushing up out of there, and I guess he ended up wouldn't go holler at his homeboys, and later on the situation got resolved, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I just heard recently that Wall Street was paroled and now he's free, which is extremely remarkable, man. I heard that he had got his sentence commuted or something like that by the governor, something like that. Y'all can definitely look him up and research him, man. But while the dude was incarcerated, the dude was able to he did some TED Talks, if I'm not mistaken. He also appeared on Vlad TV. Now that's extremely remarkable. You are locked up in prison, but you do an interview with Vlad TV, one of the biggest YouTube platforms when it comes to interviewing, urban content. He also was on Sway, which is a pretty popular radio station and platform up out of the Bay Area as well, man. And so yeah, shout out to Wall Street, man. Glad that you home. Glad to see that you have obtained your freedom and stuff like that, man. But anyway, that's just a few of the people that I was locked up with, man. That was more that was recognizable, high profile or whatever. I got a few more people coming up that I'm going to tell y'all about on part 2, man. So y'all definitely be sure to check in. You already know what it is. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program.
And ain't shit gonna change.
Them crackers let me out the gate, now the pressure's on. We bout to get this shit straight like a pressing cone. The wrong cat to get aggressive on. I bring the bitch up out of niggas while you think they got them dresses on. My reach long and that's the best type. To have some dirty white boys come and smoke you like a meth pipe. And leave your chest bright red like a fire truck. Kicking your mom's door at night, nigga, and tie her up. I'm wild as fuck and I'm respected by the new youth. I put this pistol in their ear like a Bluetooth. I blow their brains on they new coupe. And have red everywhere just like a function full of soup whoops. Tell your troops I deal with beef like a butcher. My 4-5 pump more guys than Ashton Kutcher. Line pusher, quick to bury your clown. Nigga, I stayed in the park like the merry-go-round. Get it?
The game greasy, bitch, the game need me. Oh, you niggas don't know my name. The game greasy, bitch, the game need me. I'm out here doing my thing. The game greasy, bitch, the game need me. I swerve in my own lane. The game greasy, bitch, the game need me.